Authorities are sharing new information in the wake of a deputy-involved shooting in Cleveland.
He's got a knife.
The Fox 8 team obtained body cam of the incident last week outside the Staples store on West 117th Street in Cleveland. Medina County deputies shot and killed 47-year-old Andre Martin while working with a task force during a sting operation. A drug sting there. Now Homeland Security Investigations is sharing photos of a package that contained 3 kilograms of fentanyl and 2 kilograms of cocaine. The shipping label tied the package with Martin. Authorities say Martin was armed with a knife as he retrieved a package in the Staples parking lot, which led to the encounter with deputies and the shooting. The case remains under investigation.
All right. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. And this is yet another police-involved shooting, this time in Cleveland, Ohio. And this happened on April the 16th. And we are just hearing about it within the last couple of days. And the victim of this police execution this time was 47-year-old Andre Martin, who police allege that he was armed with a knife. And I'm going to show you a more in-depth video because this was only 51 seconds. And pretty much it just tells you the narrative. And then they go on to focus on the alleged drugs that he was supposed to pick up. So I'm going to show you a more in-depth news story. But I'm also going to show you some comments from his family, which shows the brutality of this man's demise. They said he got shot 15 times for allegedly having a knife. Now, we just saw the Florida State shooter with military-style guns take 6 lives and come out unscathed. This guy had a knife and was several feet away from the officers, and they took his life. Tell me, what is the difference? Just watch this right here.
New body cam video into the newsroom of when police shot and killed a man they say threatened them with a knife in the parking lot of a Cleveland Staples store. And today, police gave new shocking details of the case. CA New Yorker is in the newsroom with the latest on this.
Take a look at this surveillance video from Wednesday, April 16th. You see a man identified as 47-year-old Andre Martin enter the Staples store on West 117th Street in Cleveland. He exits the frame, and then a few minutes later, you can see him leaving the store carrying a box. Unbeknownst to him, Medina County Sheriff's deputies are waiting outside the store. We're told they're part of a Department of Homeland Security task force and were conducting a narcotics investigation. They say when Martin came out of the store and saw them, he took out a knife. Here's body cam of law enforcement driving to the scene. You can hear officers yelling, quote, "Put your hands up," and, quote, "He's got a knife." And then about a dozen shots ring out.
He's got a knife.
None of the body cam provided to 3 News shows which officers fired their guns.
Everybody back up. Everybody's good. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Martin died from his injuries at the scene. The same box he was carrying as he came out of the store is shown on camera, just yards from his body. Investigators from the Department of Homeland Security say more than 11 pounds of drugs were found inside the box he was carrying. 3 kilograms of fentanyl and 2 kilograms of cocaine, worth more than $250,000. Evidence shows that Martin was both the sender and the recipient of the package, despite it coming from out of state. In a previous 3 News story, Martin's mother and daughter said he had a troubled past, but was trying to get his life back on track.
He's very loved and very respected by his peers and by his children and by his family. So it's just, it's a huge loss for us as a family.
Cleveland police detectives are handling the investigation. Again, it's important to note that video was edited that was provided to us. Now, the Medina County Sheriff says the task force is focused on bulk narcotics in Cuyahoga and Medina counties. He also tells 3 News that Medina County deputies involved in this shooting have been placed on paid administrative leave. As new details come in about this, we will keep you updated. Russ?
Okay, see you, New Yorker.
All right, of course the video footage is edited. All of the video footage they show us is edited. Now just think about this. A man allegedly walked into Staples, picked up a box. Somehow the box had his address on it, and there were allegedly narcotics. He came out of the store, and the police said, "Put your hands up," and he pulled out a knife. Does that make sense? And even if he pulled out a knife, how much damage could he do to all of those police officers out there with the knife? He was not in close proximity to them. He didn't lunge at them. They just said he simply had a knife. And that's it. And they quickly switched the article to, oh yeah, this, he had bulks of D-rugs, 3 kilograms of this and 2 kilograms of that. Like that justifies police taking his life for literally just having a knife. They didn't say he threatened him with a knife. He threw the knife at him. They were not even close enough to the man for him to be a threat. Now, mind you, all of these school shooters have weapons and they have already took lives. Somebody explained to me how they are able to be taken in, that they're not a threat. Of course, most of them are white. And I was talking to a brother today, and he said, well, not everything is about race. Okay, this is. You have 15 white police officers and 1 black man who comes out the store with a box of substances that can put him away for life anyway. So him grabbing a knife is not going to do nothing. Mind you, they didn't show the knife, did they? Did they show the knife? They didn't even, normally they will show the knife, right? This is the knife that the suspect wielded at the officers. None of that. None of that. And then they say the video was edited. Now, you've seen the video with Ryan Hinton and how his video was edited to make it look like he did something he did not do. And so only thing we have is the word for it. You hear the newscaster say, well, the body camera doesn't show, which officers did what, but 2 officers are on paid administrative leave, basically paid vacation for taking this man's life. Now, lastly, let's hear what the family has to say about this situation, which I definitely agree. Like, if you a hustler, I don't agree. I've been there, but I don't agree with, I wouldn't take that chance now this late. I'm 47 too. It's strange. I'm 47. I wouldn't be out there doing that. Nevertheless, the penalty for moving D-rugs is jail time, not execution. And that's what the family is pretty much going to say. Hold on.
I'm Kaylee Olivas here in Cleveland. 2 Medina County Sheriff's deputies reportedly shot and killed a 47-year-old man here on West 117th Street outside of the Staples Wednesday afternoon. Now, officials say they aren't able to release that much information as this investigation is still in its early stages. But the family of that man killed says he was allegedly shot more than a dozen times. They call that overkill. 47-year-old Andre Martin.
That was my best friend.
Just a funny person, very well respected, a good father.
That man fatally shot by 2 Medina County deputies during a narcotics investigation conducted by Homeland Security and the Ohio Organized Crimes Unit on Wednesday.
They encountered a suspect who produced a knife, prompting 2 officers to discharge their service weapons.
These 2 task forces reportedly deal with large-scale drug-related crimes, but Martin's family claims he wasn't a big fish to catch.
I know he was a low-level, maybe drug dealer here and there or whatever, My thing is, don't get mad that you'd rather kill him because you couldn't catch him. And that's what you did.
Law enforcement hasn't responded to many questions. What was Martin's involvement in the investigation? How many times was Martin shot? And what led up to the shooting?
And anybody that knows my son knows that if he was defending himself with that knife, you're going on ICU.
Yeah.
So I know he wasn't trying to hurt that officer.
While no official answer on how everything unfolded, Martin's family says witnesses and information from Cleveland police homicide detectives have painted a worrisome picture. Martin's mom, Rhonda, says witnesses of the shooting have alleged he was shot 15 times and that a homicide detective claimed only one Medina County deputy pulled the trigger.
They didn't have to gun my child down like a dog and left him laid up in the street for hours. I just think they murdered my son in broad open daylight and trying to cover it up.
We reached out to Cleveland police again as the agency heads the shooting investigation, asking for a response to these allegations. But we're told, quote, "We are not able to discuss and or comment on an active investigation."
In your heart, do you believe that your son had nothing to do with this narcotics investigation?
I think he was just shopping at Staples. Regardless, whatever people might think it may be, he didn't deserve to be.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve to be taken away from his family, especially someone that's not armed.
Officials are expecting to release the body camera footage of this shooting sometime next week. We'll, of course, continue to follow through. For News 5 here in Cleveland's West Side, I'm Keely Olivas.
All right, so that video was the first one, like right after the shooting. And you hear the reporter saying, well, you really think that your brother didn't have anything to do with this narcotic investigation? That's besides the point. Whether he did or he did not. Like the police lady said, he came out and, you know, he was approached by officers and he produced the knife, prompting the officers to fire 15 times. So when these school shooters, mass shooters, Florida State shooters have a machine gun that have already taken lives, that doesn't prompt you to use your service weapon, officers? Make it make sense to me. It's clear-cut open season on black men. And at the time of that video, they said they hadn't responded. You know why they hadn't responded? Because they had to get their story together. He was shot 15 times. And this story says only one deputy shot him, but then two deputies are on leave. So what does that mean? Why is the other one on leave? And lastly, they said they laid him in the streets for hours, his mother said, i.e. Michael Brown, i.e. the lynchings that they used to do in public where black men were spectacles. They made a spectacle out of that man, and they're going to justify it by focusing on a narcotics investigation. Now, once again, maybe he was just a low-level guy. Maybe he was paid to go pick up the package. I don't know. But nevertheless, that right there, like the woman said, is overkill. And there's no need to kill when a man has a knife. If he has a knife, you got a taser, you got the non-lethal force, and never was it said in the article that he threatened them with him, that he lunged at it, that he swung the knife. So where is the danger? Only danger is the melanin on that black man's skin. And somebody had told me that there had been 7 shootings within the past few weeks in Ohio. Now, we all know the racist white supremacist group enclaves that are in Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, all around that area, Pennsylvania. They've also said that these organizations recruit police officers. Actually, it was either Tennessee or Ohio said they're going to have to, they made a law that, you know, these guys, we got to stop them from recruiting our officers. They target police officers to join this group. And from what we see and how they treat black suspects and white suspects, I wouldn't doubt that that is a true statement. Because all of these white men charged at police. I did a video earlier this year where a white guy charged at the police with an axe, and the police was just ducking and dodging, you know, dancing the salsa with them. In many other videos, you'll see white men being aggressive with police, taking police guns and they never lose their life. So this black man literally had a knife and they took his life. Rest in peace to our brother, once again, Andre Martin. Condolences to his family and his mother and his sister, because once again, everybody is a man, whether you have a police uniform on or you have a coat on and Staples. Everybody is a man at the end of the day. That badge does not give you the right to be the judge, jury, and the executioner of someone who's committing a crime. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the video. As always, peace and blessings.